Okay, you guys, I am so excited because I've got Jamie Garrett here with me today, and she is one of my clients and becomes such a good friend of mine too. So I want to give a little introduction before I turn it over to Jamie. But Jamie, she is a mom of six. Am I right? Is that right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes. With her oldest just getting married, and we'll talk about, well, she just got married. We'll talk about that because that was during this contest prep. She's 45 years old and she just wrapped up her very first bikini prep after 5 years of us coaching together, which is so cool. A couple of statistics. So she finished her prep down 16 pounds. You dropped 4 inches off of your glutes. Did you know this? Four
No,
inches off your glutes
crazy.
and 2 inches down in the hips. Um, or sorry, in the waist, not the hips. It was 4 inches from the glutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've overcome a lot that a lot of people wouldn't recognize from just seeing your photos from the stage. Some of the things are like managing your pot symptoms. And so we'll talk about that. And then like I also mentioned, your daughter getting married during your prep as well, which is that's like a mother of the bride during a contest prep. That's a pretty big thing. So we're going to talk to you about what this journey looked like, what you learned, and what is next.
Right.
So, with that, let's go back to the very beginning. Do you happen to remember what made you reach out to me it was like end of October 2020?
Yeah. Okay. So I had been lifting weights for a long time. It wasn't like I was like new to the game of lifting weights. And I had worked with a few different personal trainers, even done like a photo shoot, like a 12-week weight loss photo shoot. And then I didn't get any direction. I gained a bunch of weight. And then worked with a different nutrition person. They had me do the keto diet. I think it caused my POTS. So then moving forward with the pause, because you get so tired, so just absolutely drained, and it felt like demoralizing because you can't really function very well until you get that handled. And so I started getting that handled, um, but it was never like handled. But I also thought to myself, I am not okay being overweight. I'd rather at least be in a good shape, even if I'm like tired. Like I'm not willing to let this like dictate how things go. So I can't remember the official weight I was when I first started with you. Do you know?
Yes, it was 143 pounds.
Okay. It was 143 pounds. And that's not like crazy high at all. I will never say it's crazy high. In
And
back of my
are
head
you
though,
5'4"? I
I'm
think that
5'4.5".
5'4" and a half. So that's important context too for everybody because,
Yeah.
143 pounds is different depending on the height. But
Yes, another inch or two, and that's like nothing. Um, but I always felt like it wasn't my best self. I never felt comfortable in my skin. It affected me mentally because I just didn't feel right. And to even go back farther than that, I had always been I was a competitive figure skater for about 10 years of my youth. And so physical fitness was a big deal, and being in shape was a big deal, and just a natural part of my life. And so sitting at 143, as that's not super high, it was also not, I didn't feel good. I didn't like how it looked. I didn't like how it felt. My feet hurt. Um, so I found Valerie, found you on Instagram, and um, just loved your straightforward content. And I loved just the logic. I love like the no fluff, no like try this kind of thing. I loved how just like logical you are. And so we started working together, I think it was December 2020, something like
yep,
that.
yep, it was.
Yeah. And then you put me through several, I think, building phases through AMPKs. I learned so much, fell in love with it, and just have loved working with you. And then um, I'd always, in the back of my mind, had wanted to do a bikini competition. I remember seeing Jamie Eason on magazines and just thought she was the best.
Same.
And
I love
yeah,
Jamie. Yes. In fact,
yeah.
my first introduction to resistance training was her 12-week Live Fit trainer off of bodybuilding.com. Like my husband
That's
was like,
amazing.
you should try this. So yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing. Those transformation challenges, I think, are like so many people's introduction to weightlifting. I did the Body for Life like when I was like 19.
that was your first experience when
Yeah,
yeah,
like an
you've been in the
actually
game
like
a long time.
yeah, yeah. Let me think. So okay. So then 2022? I tried to do a competition. I
I
think it was.
believe that it was 2022. It was either that or 2023. It was one of those years you were like, I really want to do a prep.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. And at the time too, um, there like your pots, it still wasn't
Mm,
fully under control. Like there are
yes.
things, us being older women, like we
Hmm.
are, things from a hormonal perspective and stuff like that that were kind of affecting things. And it's not to say that we don't want to use that as an excuse, but
Right.
those
There.
things did, like, they're real and they can have an effect on things. So
Yes.
um I guess let me ask you this. So with POTS, can you explain what that is, what kind of symptoms and things come from that, and like how that actually does have an effect on trying to achieve good physical health, and especially moving into like a prep or something like that too.
Sure. I first know I had it. I would just be super, super, super tired despite getting rest, despite eating well. I didn't ever feel like super stressed. It was just, and then it would like come in waves where it'd be like a couple of days I could barely get out of bed. But then there'd be a few days I'd feel all right. And I'm like, okay, it's just fine. And then it would just like hit me again to the point like even like traveling felt like unattainable because like I just couldn't like get up and I felt dizzy and I felt weak. Like it felt like energy like drained out of my body. Um, yeah, and I do still have bouts of it here and there that like creep up, and I
Yep.
just kind of have to write it out. But it's not like it was for sure.
So what do you think helped to get it a little bit more under control? Do you what have you learned in order to make, yeah, to overcome when you're feeling those symptoms, or is there something that's kind of mitigated the symptoms over the
Mm.
years for that?
I don't know that I could totally pinpoint anything. I've worked with a couple different naturopathic doctors. Um, I do think I a year ago got on tirzepatide, a low dose, like like a quarter of a regular starting dose, and I that was a kind of a game changer for me. Um, in a myriad of ways.
Yeah.
So I could probably say that getting on a little bit of testosterone helped and progesterone. Um, and I think sometimes it's just time too, which is not very helpful.
Yeah, just giving it time to figure things out, cuz
Yeah.
I know a couple friends that have this condition, and it's not something, it's chronic, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
ever go
Yeah.
away. You just learn to manage the symptoms and
Yeah. Like my sodium intake is would probably like shock a lot of people, but that's something that the doctor has me do. I just have to do it. So
so yeah, so that helps. So also with POTS diagnosis, how have you modified or adapted your training based on it, or have you not at all?
I don't really think I have. I think I'm just stubborn enough, which is probably not the best. That is just like, oh my, you're not going to tell me what to do. Like I got things to do here.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been days I've had to leave the gym just a little bit early because it's like I'm getting too dizzy or something. I've stood up, and I think this can be without pots. Like I've stood up from things. I'm like, I actually don't see any people in the gym with me right now. So
So
stuff like
during
that.
during prep,
Yeah.
do you find that it happened more frequently, less frequently? Because I mean, there were times we were pushing food, like calories
Yeah.
were really low. So do you? I mean, it could have been an effect of the low carbs or the prep.
Yeah. I honestly don't think I almost felt like I felt better during prep. And I don't know because there was like a low level of adrenaline pushing through. I don't know. But I think I felt really fine. I felt fine.
Yeah, because this prep was quite phenomenal. Like we had started at end of April, and the goal was to get on stage for the October show, but you were making such incredible progress that we ended up doing a show earlier. We did that
Mhm.
one
In August.
in August. I'm like, not
Mhm.
September, August. My timelines are so off lately. Like
Yeah.
I was just telling you how I was in the ER last night, and I was talking with the doctors, and I was like, I'm like, yesterday, Monday, and they're like, it's not. Today's Monday. And I'm like, oh no, my
I see
brain.
it on my mind. The other day, my kids are like, "That was like 2 months ago." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Right." Okay.
Like it's okay. We're okay. But yeah, so just really cool things that happened with this prep. But okay, so now that we've got a little bit more context with POTS, what that is, how you've added in some interventions, you've got some hormones,
Mhm.
HRT that you've
Mhm.
also added in, and then you were microdosing some GLP, the
Mhm.
tirzepatide, and you found that that's really helped. So
I
now,
think it has.
yeah, I think so too. It's been fun to watch as your coach and a friend on from the outside,
Mhm.
how you do tend, like you have more energy. I think it's even given you the ability to push even harder. Like there were days where when calories were low and you still were like hitting PRs and really
Yeah.
challenging yourself, which was just not something that when we attempted contest prep a couple years ago, like none of that was happening.
No, it did not go well.
Yeah, none of that. So let's go back to whenever that was,
I'm pretty
2022.
sure it's 2022.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So,
Okay.
um, let's just talk about that. What, as we reflect, what was one of the outstanding things that you think might have held you back? Because I believe at that time you still had some good habits that were established,
Mhm.
but I want to know your insight. What do you think made it so that I ended up pulling the plug on it? What do you think was?
Well, I think we had been in it so long, and we just I was like just stuck. Like I wasn't getting lean enough, and I know you wanted me on stage, not looking like I belong there, and I am all about that. Like I would rather not show up there and be like, "Why am I here?" And it had been I want to say like 20 something weeks, and it was just wasn't happening. Steps were super super high, calories were getting low, and my body just was not responding. So I think that's why.
I remember too, because yeah, I agree with you with all that. I remember too that there were times where your hunger would take over and you'd be
Oh,
like,
for sure.
you're like,
Yes.
hey, so I overate. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of, we would need to push hard, but
Yeah.
that skill, maybe that
Yep.
skill of pushing through the discomfort
Mhm.
hadn't been fully developed. Like you hadn't built that discomfort muscle enough.
Mhm. Yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely feel like, though this has not been a perfect prep by any means, shape, or form, I can't say it was like I nailed it. I could say I did far better this time than I did last time, and the next time I know I'll do far better than this time.
It's all about doing a little bit better. It's so true.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, between that, I also remember there was one time where I was like, okay, we're going to have a diet break. I want you to eat this much food for the
Mhm.
week. And
Mhm.
then let's check in and see what that looks like. And so we were doing these diet break things, which I feel like are really popular now, but we were doing this 3 years ago, back in
Yeah.
2022. And so I'd given you some macros, it was more carbs. And I remember you checking in. Do you remember this
Mm-mm.
experience? So
No.
you checked in, and I don't know how I got the information, but basically you had not increased, you were following the amount of calories, but you had not increased your carbs, you increased your protein. So you were eating like 250 grams of protein and then
Oh,
and
I
like
did not remember that.
50 carbs. And I was like, why
What?
did you do, yeah, why did you do that? And you said, oh, there was this guy at the gym
Oh, I
who,
remember that.
yeah,
Yes, I do remember that.
you remember that? You're like, this guy at the gym told me I needed to eat more
Absolutely.
protein or something like that. And so I think that's another really valid lesson
Mm.
for clients is you're going to get a lot of outside voices. Like,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about that? Tell me a little bit
Oh
more
my
about
gosh.
outside
I
voices.
can't believe I forgot about that. So this guy is not just some guy. Like I've known him for 15 years.
Oh, so
And
it's a friend.
yeah, he's very outspoken. He trains a few competitors. Um, yeah, I think I'd maybe like not been like losing very quickly at that moment, and like he probably said something. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Like, no, no. Now it's like, no. I just listen to my coach because she knows my body. He doesn't. He has no idea. He has no idea what I'm doing. So yeah, big
Yeah.
lesson there.
I think that is a really good lesson because you're going to get people that are going to watch you. And especially when you're a contest prep, you start to change, like you're shape shifting a lot
Yeah,
more quickly than
yeah,
when you're hanging out at maintenance, right? And so
yeah.
people are going to start to see, and especially if you got a friend who's in the industry, they're probably going to be more apt to giving you feedback,
Hmm.
whether you ask for it or not. Usually
Hmm.
it's more unsolicited, even from
Hmm.
friends. Sometimes you're just,
Oh,
you
all the time.
yeah, you're listening to that. But it's really about they're only seeing the snapshot. They don't know the work that you and your coach are doing. That's going into it. There's a lot more context than what they're seeing. And so, yeah, they're seeing like, oh, she's in a prep, but she's been struggling to lose weight. So I want to give her some advice because I
Mhm.
genuinely am trying to help you.
Sure.
And there it's all coming from a place of love. I don't think that when people are
Right.
giving you advice that they're trying to do harm to you
No
whatsoever.
sabotage. No.
Yeah, they're trying to be helpful, but it can get into your head. There can get too many voices going
Yeah.
on where it kind of gets a little bit confusing, and so it's like kind of putting on those blinders,
Doubt. Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Putting on
Hmm.
those blinders and just like, okay, I'm just working with my coach. And also, I think that at the time, like we had good communication. Like we were able to communicate well back and forth, but I think we've even developed a better
Oh,
rapport, and of course like
yeah.
friendship. Like we have definitely developed a friendship, or which has really helped as well, because then that gives you the, like, I think that makes you feel more comfortable with sharing things with me.
Yeah.
And then it gives me the opportunity to be like, oh, like, yeah, like we could maybe go down that path, or no, this is actually a bad idea. Like I'm not even gonna like have a conversation with you about this. Like the coach Val is saying, no, we're not going
Yeah.
down that path.
And I should have known that based on my history with doing keto. Like nothing extreme is ever going to go well. It just is never going to be a good thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so a couple good lessons from that is just listen to your coach. Take what people have to say with a grain of salt, or if there's something that you hear from somebody and you're like, oh, I wonder if that might work, bring it up with your coach.
yeah,
Talk to them about it. And a good coach will be absolutely willing to listen. And sometimes they're just going to shut it down. Other times they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, if you want to give it a try, but
yeah,
I don't think it's going to be the best outcome, but we can absolutely try it and see,
yeah,
and prove me wrong. Sometimes it's kind of like the fun thing, like we're testing things out, which I also think, don't you think this too? So, side note, Jamie is an up and coming coach herself.
yes,
And so these are all things that she's learning and doing with her clients as well,
yeah.
which is super cool. But
Well, I was going to say, I think sometimes when you have a coach, and I remember this back in the days of like being a figure skater, is you feel like almost like your coach is up on this pedestal and you want to impress them, not realizing, not really thinking like they're your teammate. Like, yes, you want to impress them, sure, but you want to impress yourself. But you also like, this is a team effort. And like you need to be in on everything, not just like a dictatorship. And I think our friendship has grown so much to the point where like I do feel way more comfortable in like coming to you with anything.
yeah, just even last week you were like, "Hey, I'm looking at doing this certification from Sam Miller. Shout out Sam Miller." And
Yeah,
just like, "What do you think about that?" And it's not something that I've personally done, but I know Sam, and I was like, "Yeah, if this is something that you want to do, I totally think that would be awesome." So it's kind
yeah,
of fun to like bounce those ideas and things off.
yeah. I agree. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, lesson learned for everybody when you're out and doing your thing, even if you're just in a fat loss phase with a coach and you're not in a contest prep, like really learn to trust yourself and your coach to make the decisions that are best for you, rather than leaning on outside voices. It just gets really confusing, and it could delay your progress, or do things like that. So But yeah, that was one experience where I was like, I think it was about that time I was like, I think we should just call it because we've
Yeah.
just been pushing so hard for so long, and I'm just worried that in my mind I remember thinking like, I don't know if this is going to happen again in the future, and I just don't want her to feel like she's in a diet, in a caloric deficit, but not really in the deficit, right? It's
Yeah.
like that whole like you're in the mind
Yes.
like deficit mindset.
Yes. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, because that happens a lot to people too. It's like, oh, I'm doing really good, like 4 or 5 days a week, and then
Mhm.
I overeat a couple days of the week, and it's like, why am I not seeing progress? And
Yes. Math is why.
right. It's like it really is simple, but it's actually really one of the most challenging things to do.
We're really working against what our body wants to do.
Yes, yes. So looking back at that prep, what do you think was the missing piece? Like what do you think was the reason that we ended up pulling out of that?
I think I had a lot to learn about nutrition. Is like I knew how to count carbs, but I didn't really. I think it was like halfway through you asked what I was actually eating, and you're like, "Oh, that's like a ton of processed." And so once we pulled that out, things started moving again. But I feel like I've learned a ton more about just how important like keeping things really simple is. There's a lot of power in just, having your meat, having your vegetable, having your carbohydrate, and it doesn't need to be this fancy, like earth shattering, tasty meal. We're just trying to do a prep here. Like, let's keep the main thing, as you said.
I love that. But I do like tasty food, so I will find a
Oh,
way to
yeah.
make. Yes,
Yes.
spices, vinegars, different ways to make it
Yeah.
tasty. I want to hit on the nutrition thing a little bit more because it was funny how you had a refeed a couple weeks ago before we finished up our prep, and you were looking at perhaps having Vessel Kitchen, which is
Yeah.
a local restaurant here, which I think they say it's like, grass fed,
Yeah.
farm to
Locally
table,
sourced. Yeah.
all the things. So you just feel like, oh, this is
Nutrition.
like very minimal
Ah,
ingredients.
yeah.
But then you go and look at their nutrition information
Yeah.
and tell me
So sad.
tell
I'm
everybody what
so
happened.
Okay, so there's this dish there they call the hash hash. It's like roast beef, and then they put diced sweet potatoes and red vinegar onions and some white sauce on it. Some, I don't know, aioli or something. Anyways, in my mind, like I've been having this, mind you, for years. Like I would go over once in a while for years there. And it's like 1,600 calories for one meal. It was like 60 something grams of fat. Like I'm, I'm glad I didn't just go do it and then like try figure it out. Like I think that's like a case where you would totally underestimate. You just be like, oh, this much sweet potatoes and this much roast beef, and it would be nowhere near what you actually had. It would be like 5 times as much.
Yeah, that's a prime example of when just eating out, you just don't know what hidden fats. I think it's the
Yes,
fats.
fats for sure,
Like
because they
what
just absorb right in.
Yep, you can't I mean, but that's what makes it so tasty. That's
Oh yeah, back in the good old day, that was amazing.
Yeah, all the butter, all the oil, and it's not to say you can't have that stuff, right? But using that when you're in near the end of a contest prep or in a fat loss phase, it's probably not the best. It's not. It's not the best
No.
use of your refeed. You want to
Yeah.
be able to control as much as you can with your what you're consuming. So
Yes.
that's yeah, but you sent me a message and you were like, I had no idea the macros. And so then I was telling you the story about because we were just in like Pasadena. We went to a wedding in Lake Arrowhead a couple weeks ago, and we ate at this place called Kava, which they had this shawarma bowl. Um, no, that was a different place. So it was a place where we ate at that had a shawarma bowl. I can't think of it what it was called. Maybe it was Kava. Anyway, that's not the point. But you get these little sauces, and I asked for the sauces on the side, and then I was looking at their nutrition facts because I just had come out of a contest prep,
Yeah.
so it's still like
Yeah.
trying to not go, just
Yeah.
full full flexible eyeball the food mode,
Yeah.
trying to make sure I'm managing the weight increases
Yes.
uh intelligently. And so it's like looking at the meal as they put it in as a whole, and it said like, 45 fats and 60 carbs. But then when I went and looked at each individual item, like literally breaking down the meat, the broccoli, the kale, the carrots that were in there, like everything that was in there, it was more like 90 fats.
Wait, let me do the math. 90 times 9. That's 810 calories.
Just for, yeah, these
Just
little sauces. And the thing too is, when you go to these places, they're not weighing and measuring everything out. They're scooping
no,
stuff. I mean,
they
sure,
don't
there's,
care.
yeah, and they'll just give you like the little cups if you ask for the dressing on the side. So you don't really know, like it kind of gives you an idea. Anyway, this is going down like the nutrition rabbit hole, but it was just one of those moments where I was like, if I just would have got with everything on there and just had him put the sauce on and all that stuff,
Mhm.
it's just a regular size bowl, but 90 grams of fat, like for, like,
That
holy
is so
smokes.
wild. It's wild. I've tried to make
So
healthy Indian food before. It doesn't turn out as good as real Indian food, by the way.
yeah, you need that ghee, you need the
Yeah.
oil in there. It's
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, so good.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
anyway, so moving forward, let's move into this contest prep. What made you decide to prep this year? What was it?
Okay, so like I said, last year I started some tirzepatide and it got my body in a way better spot. Like I was getting stronger, I was getting leaner, and this was like my food was increasing. Like I actually went, I think a year ago, I could say I was like 1,600 calories and not ever like losing weight. It was just like probably gaining weight. And I got so fed up that I finally like, okay, I'm just gonna give this a shot. And so I think by like around like December, January, I was feeling like in a really, really good spot. I felt good energy wise, muscle wise, leanness wise. I think I got down to like 130 something, which for me was like really exciting. I think I went down to like 130, all while increasing food.
Yeah, your food got to, at your highest, 2,250
Yes.
calories average per day. And there was flexibility with that because you were having like
Yes.
an extra 800 calories of like whatever you wanted to do and stuff like
Yes.
that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I just kind of felt like, okay, if I'm ever going to do it, like this is the time. I feel really, really good. Like I could do it. So that was why then.
you're like,
Because it was
let,
always nagging on the back of my mind. Like, I need to do this. I have to do a show for whatever reason. And I didn't know if I would love it. And I didn't know if I'd ever want to do it again.
yeah, it's like you got to try it to see what you think. And then, so, I mean, it was a good experience in the
It
end.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Things moved really, really, really well the first month. And then my daughter's wedding, planning all that. Things kind of like a little of a lull due to my own negligence. And then once the wedding was over, we started pushing harder again and just kind of cruised. It was good.
yeah, so with just the overall process over the 22 weeks, what were some of the highs? Like, is there anything that stood out over that quarter?
Yeah, yeah, several things actually. I never felt more organized. Like I felt so on top of everything, like my cleaning of the house, my taking care of the kids. And funny thing, like I actually felt more spiritually connected. Like my prayers, my scripture study were far deeper, more
Hmm.
meaningful. Um, I felt a much deeper sense of gratitude for pretty much everything and everyone. And I'm like, how did that all line up like that? You would have think I would have felt like crap, but I just think there's something about going all in on something. It affects every other aspect of your life. And I love what it did to me. And I loved how I feel like I've become a different person through it.
There's
in
been,
like all the better ways.
yeah, that's something that you've repeatedly brought up, that like your mindset has changed significantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, we are our own worst critics. And so I can tell you that you are your own worst critic, because there's a lot of times where you'll say like, "Oh, I wish I did this better and I wish I did that better." And I'm like, just look at where you came from and look at all the
One.
improvements that you've made, and like it's phenomenal. Like there were times where you're like, "Hey, so I was really hungry and I ended up eating more.
Hmm.
um should we pull back my food? Should I do more cardio and stuff like that?" And what would be my reply to you when those,
Nope, just stick to the plan.
yes, no punishment necessary, we don't need to put like do any sort of excessive cardio. And I think that a lot of people, if when they have those moments, that's tend what they tend to resort to is,
Mhm.
the next day I need to be more extreme, or I need to push myself a little bit harder, when in
Mhm.
reality, if you just get right back to what you needed to be doing,
Mhm.
that's going to give you more success than pushing your body into the ground. Because it's when you're doing that, I think that it's kind of a form of punishing yourself, because
Yeah.
you feel like you messed up, right?
Yeah. I think a couple of things with that, for me at least. I almost felt like if I were to allow myself to like go extreme, like, oh, I'm just going to do a ton of walking today, I'm going to go super, super, super low calorie, it almost becomes like a repeatable pattern, because then it's like, well, I can just overeat today because I'll just do this tomorrow. And maybe it will work, but I don't like the fact that like I was training myself to not stick to the plan, because I think the end look is not going to be the same as if I just be consistent with things. And also learning to sit with being hungry, and or the weird emotions, that come up in life, and not eating to deal with them, has been something I'm learning to do much better.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people do struggle with, right? Is the emotional eating
Hmm. Well,
for,
there's boredom, sadness, hormonal, like all the emotions. Food seems to be the answer, and as it turns out, it's not the answer.
yeah. And so finding other outlets, other ways to
Yeah,
move through those emotions and also still process them. So not
sure. Yeah,
repress them or anything, but find
sure.
healthy ways to work through that. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so true. So I guess that's kind of with the process, maybe those we consider those moments of like the overeating, as maybe like the lows. Like
Mhm.
were there any real lows? Was there any really hard times or struggles, like mindset wise, besides some of those moments when you were like, "Hey, so I ended up eating more food yesterday," or whatever?
Yeah, no, no, no lows. I would only say like for like a brief half a minute right after the show not placing as well as I would have liked to, felt a little bit like disappointing.
Hmm.
But then it's like immediately I'm snapped back to all the different growth I've had. And it's like, well, who freaking cares? Like, yeah, it would have been really, really cool to place better. But man, I wouldn't change who I am becoming and who I've become. Like, no way. That's not, yeah, not gonna let that sadness sink in. And looking at my pictures, looking at my effort, looking at who I've become, I know I can do better in the future. So, I mean, that's kind of cool to be like, oh, I'm not done yet.
Yes. So much more that you can do, which I think is a really great testament to other people that are listening, other women, because here you are, you're a mom of six. How old is your oldest daughter? I mean, she was at both of your shows with you too.
I know she's literally my biggest cheerleader. Like, I, I can't I can't stress enough how much I love her. She's 24.
Yeah, it's 24, you guys. So your 24-year-old daughter watching her mom do these really hard things. And I mean, your other kids too, because your oldest is 24, your youngest is
And
10. Okay. And so that range of watching your mom do these things. And so it's peeling away that thought that as you get older, like, oh, we are as women, like, oh, our hormones are messing us up, and we have like cortisol issues, and
Mhm.
life, this is it. Like, there's nothing for us. We can't put on muscle. Like, you are shattering all of those preconceived notions and showing that you can
Yes.
still prioritize yourself, even being a married mother of six.
Hmm.
And at the same time, you're not doing that only for your aesthetics and personal goals, but it's helped you from like mindset, and you're building a business as
Yep.
well. You've
So exciting.
you've got a lot of really cool things in the pipeline, and there's so much potential for future growth, not only on the stage, but with business and all that stuff too. So just being that shining example to your kids and to everybody that's listening of like, it's never too late.
No, no.
No.
I remember one time I was sitting at like a church meeting, and I don't even, it's years ago, but I said something to the effect like, I don't like, I feel like there's so much more growth I need. And people are like, really? I'm too done. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I am like on fire for like what the possibilities are. I mean, I want to go in the grave knowing like I gave it my all. And
Yes.
despite being tired sometimes, and I'm here to like to grow and figure this out. I'm gonna take advantage of this time here on earth.
I agree. That gave me goosebumps. I agree. I like just keep moving forward. There's so much goodness that you're going to bring, and so much even like from a selfish perspective of like, oh, I want to do a prep again. And
Mhm.
I can't wait to bring more delts, bring more glutes, have
Mhm.
even more confidence and, different things like that the next time I do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool to be able to sit there and yes, experience like a little bit of that, like, "Ugh, I wish I would have placed better. I kind of wish
Yeah.
this, I wish that, which we go
Sure.
through that, right?
Sure.
That, right.
I don't think we'd be human if I didn't care at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I wish, because I think that people, even the people that win, and I can say from personal experience as a competitor, the only time I've ever won was when I got my pro card, and I've competed
Wow.
19 times. So I've lost 18 times and I've won once.
Wow.
Um, and even then, the first thing I was doing was like, okay, what do I need to do next? Like, this was really cool, but I'm ready for the next step, right? Like, I want to
Yeah.
continue to push myself. And that's the same with you. So it's like, yeah, I like bummed about this, bummed about that. However, I'm also really excited about what I have going forward for me, like my potential.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and
just to be totally honest, there was times in my life like I felt really, really low because of the POTS, because of my inability to control my body. Um, like it was pretty bad at times, and so to see the change that has been elicited through my efforts, through working with you, through not giving up, through being persistent, not taking no for an answer, uh, it's pretty freaking cool to know like what staying on track does. I mean, like my gosh, like if I can do that now, like what else can I do?
I love that. I love that. So with prep, what surprised you most about it?
Mm,
Is there anything that
I I like well, I think all the things I learned about myself and the changes I saw, that surprised me because in my mind, I had no idea. It was like, I'm just gonna get lean and get on stage and like check that off and be like, I did it. Like that's accomplishment. I didn't know all the ways it was gonna change me. Like it would, I mean, I would literally, there were some days I would, especially towards like the end of when walking steps were really, really high, I would get up and it would literally be dark outside as I'm going for these walks. And I would be crying because I just felt such like a deep sense of gratitude for who I've become and like the inner confidence that I have. And I don't know any other way I would have gotten that. So that's pretty surprising.
that's amazing. I was thinking I was thinking you might say something like the tan backstage or something like that. That was a way better
That's why
answer.
that's a, we're like standing around like a bunch of like starving women getting gassed with tanning spray. Don't look, don't make eye contact.
All naked getting tan together.
Some of us with big fake boobs, some of us with no boobs left. Like some of us like 18, some of us like in our 60s. Like it was something.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? So I guess there's that, but I like your answer way better than what I was thinking
When
thinking
I
about.
found out I had to do that, I was like, what? Like I'm a pretty modest person. I think I've told you I don't. I don't even wear bikinis like out to the beach. Like I wear like one pieces. So this has also been new. Being up on stage mostly naked, in front of women naked. Like
Yeah, that whole experience. So I want to talk about that. So like, we're both members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And
yeah.
so from like a modesty perspective, there if people are looking from the outside of the sport in, they could look at it as being something that's bad. I mean, I was even when I first started competing, like a used to be friend of mine called me pornographic.
Oh.
Um, yeah, and we're not friends anymore, but
Mhm.
it's just like those type of things that when you're looking at this, it could appear that way. But what I found, and I'm sure what you found too, is there's so much more than just the show day. There's all
Oh
the
yeah.
things that you're learning, the transformation that comes, the ability to get through the hard times, to sit in the discomfort of
Mhm.
days where you're really hungry and be able to just to allow your body to go there, right? And
Sure.
not let the natural man take over. That's a kind of a spiritual type of
No,
phrase,
and
right?
there's like some kind of couple of scriptures that I've come across during it that it really actually is like we are constantly trying to master like the natural man. The natural man like wants gluttony and laziness and prep is like anti all of that. So I wonder if that's part of like my spiritualness increasing. Um, I don't know.
It allows
But
you to
as
have
far
more
as
connection. Yeah.
yeah, well, very much more intentional about every minute of my day. Um, as far as being up on stage, that actually held me back for years, I think. It's like the idea of getting up on stage in front of a lot of people, not just a few, a lot of people showing quite a bit, but I don't view it the same way. Like, I think sometimes people can sexualize it, but to me, I view it as an art and I show it as like, almost like a celebration of this body that our Heavenly Father has given us and taking care of it. I would say most people around can't say they're taking care of it. They're merely existing in it. And I think it's really cool what he's given us. I'm like, maybe it's immodest, probably is, but it's also in the eye of the beholder as well, how they perceive it, because that can be taken a lot of things. So, a cool experience as well as backstage. I actually met some of the coolest people I've ever met. And there was nothing about our bodies. It was about like women pushing and pushing themselves to be their best and knowing each individually one of them, they did this hard thing and they are a better person for it. And I got to connect with them. And like, you can't do that at church. Like you have different kind of connections, but you get to meet these people who are really awesome. And yeah, I wish I'm there in bikinis, but who cares? Like, I'm fine with it. And I think, like I said earlier, I'm far more confident in my body. And maybe part of that is being up on a stage in a bikini, owning who I am and being proud of who I am.
Yeah. And yeah, and being able to, because we're stewards of our bodies, and
Yeah.
finding how we can better, like getting exercise, getting movement, learning about like sunshine and vitamin D and enough recovery, and fueling our bodies appropriately, like all these really great and wonderful things. I agree with you. And then at the end of the day, yes, there's an aesthetics thing. Like we're building muscle, we're sculpting
Mhm.
our physiques, and we're doing this because we love the process. It's not coming from a place of like we hate our bodies um,
No,
at all. Like, and we're trying to change things because we don't like it. It's like we want to see how far we can push ourselves and challenge ourselves.
for sure.
Yeah, just
And
like
at the end of the day, you're doing a lot of good stuff for yourself. I mean, you're eating nutritious food, you're making sure you're getting the sleep, you're moving, you're keeping your muscle, hopefully building muscle. Like, I don't know. I know it's unhealthy about that.
yeah. Yeah, so I think that sometimes there can be this perception of, like you said, like it can be sexualized, but it's for the women, at least all the women I've met, and it sounds like same with you, that women that you've met that are in this sport, it's not that at all. It's
No, I
more,
didn't get that.
it's about this journey of self-improvement.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's
I, because I got so lean and that makes the muscles look so much bigger. I had people coming up to me left and right at the gym. And I think like, and even like my daughters and my oldest son, like they're inspired. Like it's changed them to see like, oh wait, there are other possibilities. I don't have to just exist. I don't have to just get along. Like I actually can do this. I can do hard things. And even my husband, like he's been getting so much more exercise, and it's all just because I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah, being a positive influence.
Yeah.
And finding that way, I don't like the word balance because I don't really feel like we can balance everything. We do have to apply more focus to stuff at different parts of our life.
Yes. Yeah.
But in your case, you found a way to do this prep while still being a mother, being a
Yeah.
wife, and
Mhm.
maintaining those relationships. At the end of the day, like that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. The prep will come to an end, but like family, that's everything.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So, I mean, that's probably my next question was going to be how has your mindset changed from when we first started working together to now? And we've kind of covered it, but is there more that you think that you want to share about? Because I mean, looking back at Jamie 2020
Yeah.
to now.
Holy smokes, that actually is a lot. I mean, 2020 rocked my world as it did like tons of people. I feel like I became very untrusting of people and really everything. I think it kind of put me in a dark place, but uh, I'm so much better off now. Like I'm so much more sure of my body. I'm sure about my place in the world. I'm sure about our Heavenly Father. I'm sure about like my ability to like take care of myself and not feel like I'm at the whim of like what my body's doing. Like it I think when I first started working with you, it just didn't feel like anything was working. It felt like it didn't matter how hard I worked, but like looking back, I think yeah, I actually could have eaten a lot better. I could have moved more intentionally. I didn't handle stress well. So all those things are way more handled now.
And it's just been baby steps. I think a lot of people will hire a coach expecting in 12 weeks things are going to be different.
Yeah. It's a process. It's a process of like messing up and then figuring out how to do better next time. And like you took me through several cycles of muscle building, of fat loss, and through each of those uh lessons were learned. So it's not just like I think if you view it like I am learning how to take care of my body, not just I'm trying to get this one end goal. I feel like I have become so much better off because now I can maintain it and improve it rather than just like a quick fix. And maybe that's what I was hoping for initially, but now like I see it as a bigger picture. So
Yeah, because here we are. Are we 5 weeks into maintenance after, is it 5 weeks?
no, only a week and a half about.
Oh,
You've lost it.
see, look at me. I'm doing it again.
Yeah, it was like a week ago on Saturday was the show. So
That's right. It was October
10
4th
days
or
or so.
October
Yeah.
3rd.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a long time. There's a lot in my life that's happened in the last
I was
week
gonna
and a half.
say you've traveled a lot in the last little bit, so
Yeah, and then there's been some personal stuff that's been pretty
that's
big
right.
that's happened too. Yeah. So I'm
That's
like,
right.
it feels like it's been a lifetime. So
I don't blame you.
I'm like, it's been 5 weeks. You're like, no, it really
For
has.
you, I think for since your show, maybe actually.
Yeah, it
Ah,
has. It's been about
yeah,
5 weeks for me.
yeah.
But yeah, so here we are. It's just a week and a half into maintenance. So it's not that far, but this is your second show. So you did two shows this season.
Mhm, mhm.
And you went on a road trip. So you just came back from your road trip.
Last night.
And so with that road trip, obviously there was not this like, oh, this urgency of I need to get to the gym and I need to do this with my nutrition and stuff like that. So tell us how you have approached just this last week and a half.
Sure.
Like were you prepared? Hopefully I
Mhm.
did a good job preparing you?
You did, you did. I think I have well, you prepared me quite a bit, but I've listened to so many different podcasts at 3DMJ has been really helpful.
So good,
Uh,
right?
yeah, I love it. So I think mentally I feel pretty prepared that I need to be able to go into this reverse or whatever you want to call it, um, like tiptoeing back to maintenance and not like it's not like, yeah, I'm not prepping anymore, but my body needs to get used to having the calories and I don't want to put on massive amount of weight right away. I talked to a lady at the show and she had competed like a year or so ago and she said in I think 2 to 3 weeks she put on 30 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah, and she said it was terrible. So that was a nice little voice of warning.
but I mean, the thing too with that was how had she been coached with diet breaks
Yeah, I don't
and,
know. That's
things
a
like
good
that.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I went on the road trip really prepared. I had actually made sure I had enough food for all the days. I prepped food and took it with me. A few times I did go off my plan. But all in all, like I did pretty good.
Yeah. That's great. And because here we are, and with the, I'm trying to pull up the numbers here real quick because we are at about, at about a 20% increase from where we finished your contest prep. And moving into the last couple weeks of your prep, like we had pushed hard, but food was starting to slowly come up, and we had
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mock peak the week
yeah.
before and things like that. So you're in a good position where your body hadn't been run down into the ground. So
Yes.
yeah, things are looking really good. I think you're just like a couple pounds up right now, which is absolutely normal.
Yeah.
So, and like, how are you feeling right now as far as like, are you starving all the time? Are you feeling like any sort of feels that are coming from this?
Yeah, I definitely don't ever get full right now. I'm sure I could if I ate so much, but I don't want to do that. So I've been just trying to be okay with kind of just eating my food and just it's okay to feel hungry. And I know that'll probably continue for, I don't know, probably another month or so. So I'm just trying to keep that in the back of my mind. It's okay. My body's kind of coming back online. My hormones are restabilizing. As far as like energy wise, I felt pretty good. Today I actually felt really tired, but I think it was like a POTS thing. Um, yeah, but all in all, I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Good. And what you said is so important because a lot of people want to eat to feel full. They're like, okay, the prep is done, the goal is done.
Mhm.
Why am I not full? And so it's like sitting with that of like, yeah, my things are a little bit wonky right now still. Like
Mhm.
I just did a 22-week prep. I got really lean for the stage.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I'm gonna feel more hunger even though I'm eating a sufficient
Mhm.
amount of calories right now. And that's okay. So good, good wisdom right there. What is next for you? Have you thought about what you want to do next?
Yes, I kind of brought up to you when I did that last posing session with you, but I want to compete again, but I want to show up bigger booty, bigger delts. I haven't got judges' feedback. I need to check and see if the photos are up yet from the competition. But I mean, just looking at where I was next to the other women, I need a bigger bum. So
It's right. It's always like more glutes.
yeah, that and my delts seem to be bigger, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm honestly like, this time last year I was like 148 roughly there right before I started tirzepatide. And
Hmm.
then, I mean, so I actually got down, I think my lowest weight I hit was like 117.8 or something like that. Like, holy crap. That was crazy. So I'm sure I lost a good chunk of muscle along the way. So I'm ready to build it back up and then probably compete in 2027 would be my guess.
Yes, and I will push back on that. I don't think you lost a good chunk of muscle because I don't coach in extremes.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's true. And then they still look, I would say they still look too flat. I think just next to the other women. I just need a little bit bigger. So
yeah, more muscle, but yeah, not losing muscle. When you lose body fat, you will lose lean mass, and
yeah,
lean mass is not just muscle tissue.
water.
Like
Yeah,
it's water, and also lean mass is your like vital organs, like your liver and stuff like that
shoot.
too. So those all shrink as well. It's
Interesting.
not so a lot of people think, oh, I've lost muscle, but it's like, oh, you've lost body fat
Mhm.
and you've lost a little bit of that muscle fullness because you're not eating as much food. So
That's
your
true.
your your muscles aren't as full,
Yeah.
But I mean, we did carb you up for the stage, so it's
Yeah.
just the carb up relative to the amount of muscularity that you have. So that
Yeah.
was something too that we had talked about, is like, I don't want to get you so lean to the point where we're looking stringy. So it's about
Mhm.
bringing you in to the fullness level that works relative to the
Yeah.
amount of muscle you have for your
Yeah.
physique. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I just feel like there's just more building to do, and like that's kind of fun.
Yeah. And I love that you're giving yourself that time. Like, okay, let's go for about another year. We're going to build.
Yeah.
We're going to move into
Yes.
the main gains.
Yeah.
I'm not the fan of putting on excessive body fat. We don't need to do
I
that.
I gotta live in this body. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, right? You work so hard. So it's
Yeah.
like, do what we can to maintain a lean physique while you're eating plenty of food and hormones are as good as they can
Yes.
possibly be. So
Yes. Exactly.
that's what we're looking for. So moving into this main gain season, is there anything that you've learned from your prep that you think that you're going to carry with you into this next year?
Oh, for sure. I think I got really, really good at prepping food, and I see the value in just having that ready to go. I mean, there's so many times I would need to like run over to Salt Lake and like spend the day over there doing stuff, and I could just pull it out of the freezer and like I'm ready. And that was really cool. Saves so much time.
Right.
And it was like it takes the thought process of what am I going to eat and how much calories is that, all that.
Yeah, just that decision fatigue. It's just right there.
Oh,
And it's such a good hack. It doesn't take a lot of time to like bulk prep meats and different stuff like
no.
that, right? And so it's just a matter of getting to that habit. So I love that. That's a good
Yeah,
takeaway.
yeah, for sure.
And so in closing, this is going to be my last question for you. What's one message you'd share with other women's, especially busy moms, who think this kind of experience, this kind of shift in not only your physique, but your mindset isn't possible?
Hmm.
So a message to share with other busy moms.
Yeah. I think the thing I would probably would share is don't be so hard on yourself as you're learning these things. Don't expect it all up front and know that it's a process. It's like reps in the gym. Like every time you choose the next right meal, like you're getting better at that. And like don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dreams. Like at the end of the day when like you're done with this life, give be able to look back and know that you gave it your all. You went after your dreams. You didn't let the needs of others dictate everything you do. Because everyone's going to move on with their own lives. Like you've got to do your thing. You've got to make yourself feel good. And at the end of the day, that actually is serving your family.
Love that. It's such a powerful message because as women, we tend to feel like if we're putting ourselves first or prioritizing stuff for us, that it makes some women feel really guilty, like
Yes.
they're not.
I was listening to Alan Aragon. I don't know if everyone listening like has heard of him. I think he's pretty cool. And he said that his basically his motto or his for him to be his very best self, to help other people be their very best selves, to help them help other people be their very best selves. So I'm like, that's me. That's what I want to do
Yes, I love that.
as
Thank
a
you.
mom, as a friend, all of that. So
Help others. Thank you. Well, you've come such a long way, not just in physique, but with your strength, your health, confidence, and I could not be more proud of you.
thank you,
So
thank you, I
incredible.
appreciate it.
So
I'm so grateful.
thank you for sharing your story. And I know it's going to inspire lots of women. So really appreciate
Good,
it. Your time.
good. Yes. Well, thank you for all you've taught me.
Thank you. All right. Well, that is it.
Okay.
Wonderful episode. And so everybody listening, please subscribe. If you have any questions for Jamie, please put them in the comments and I will be sure to share them with her and look forward to talking to you on the next episode.
Hey, thank you, Valerie.